When I was 11, I came to Nashville for the first time with this little demo CD of me singing karaoke music, and walked into every major record label and was like, hey, I'm Taylor, I'm 11, I want a record deal, just, call me.
In 6 short years, Taylor Swift has gone from knocking on doors to breaking them down.
I'm having a new experience every day with this single, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. I had never had a #1 on the Hot 100 before, and it's a new experience where I have people coming up to me saying, I'd never heard your music before, but I heard this song and I can't get it out of my head.
Follow America's Sweetheart from karaoke covers to hit singles right here on Decoded. Taylor Swift began her journey when she signed to the then burgeoning label Big Machine Records. Songs like Tim McGraw, Teardrops on My Guitar, and Our Song spread like wildfire, establishing the young singer-songwriter as country music's favorite rookie.
Country music is something that comes as, I guess, an instinct for me. I started listening to like Dixie Chicks and Leanne Rimes when I was little, and so I guess every time I sang a song after that, it just sounded country. And I was listening to Shania Twain and Faith Hill and just fell in love with those albums and that music. It just seemed like a natural progression for me. As soon as I started writing music, I started writing country music.
Country may have been Taylor's first love, but as her voice and experiences matured, so did her music. Beginning with the country singer's first crossover song, Love Story, the singer released numerous pop singles and recently collaborated with hip-hop star B.O.B.
Genres are an interesting way to categorize music because it kind of, it's categorizing music, so it's putting you in a box in a way. Of course, you always have home base that you always come back to. For me, it's like I always start out writing songs on guitar. There's always that acoustic base of a song, and where you go from there to expand it outward, it can be anything. So I just try to reflect the emotion of what I was feeling into what you're hearing in the song, and I don't think too hard about which categories that falls into.
Taylor's talent for music is undeniable, but it was a young girl's determination to be recognized that carried her into the spotlight.
Someday I'll be living in a big old city.
People are lined up and down Music Row, just, one better than the next, one prettier than the next, just trying to do what I wanted to do too. And at that point I realized I've got to be different than all of these people. I've got to figure out a way to stand out. And so at that point I went back home and I started playing guitar and writing my own music. I was dead set on proving to these people that, I write songs and I'm here and I want this.
Taylor has more than proved herself, with 3 albums rocketing to multi-platinum success. Yet regardless of her now international stardom, Taylor Swift refuses to leave her work ethic in the past.
I sometimes think that it's possible to confuse success for an opportunity to coast. And sometimes, you see situations where it's like, oh, so-and-so's putting out another album, it's probably going to be more of the same. And I just never, ever want people to say that about me.
These things will change.
With each album, I try to push myself in one way or another. It's a challenge. It's supposed to be a challenge. Making Red, I think what I wanted to do was see how I play well with others and get in the studio with other people who have totally different sounds and influences and challenge myself in that way.
Coming up on Decoded, Taylor's got only one thing on her mind.
I like to write songs about boys. That's what fascinates me at this point in my life.
MC On Demand is bringing you a roundup of country videos that would have Nashville rockin'. The Celebrate Country category features an all-star lineup of content from country's best, like Kenny Chesney, Miranda Lambert, and Blake Shelton. Plus our MC featured artist, country music sweetheart Taylor Swift. For more of your favorite country videos, go to MC On Demand and select Celebrate Country.
Taylor Swift is arguably one of the most popular artists of our time, and while most celebrities strive to keep their personal lives private, Taylor has reached millions by boldly giving all of herself in her music, something she's done since the beginning.
I like to write songs about boys. I like to write songs about love and relationships, and that's what fascinates me at this point in my life. And I think that's possibly going to be what always fascinates me. How people treat each other, the way that we make each other feel. And there are so many angles of that I can write about. I could write hundreds and thousands of songs about one breakup.
Now it's too late for you and your white horse to come around.
I get nervous sometimes about not being personal enough in music. You know, I never worry about if I'm being too personal. A song is about painting a vivid picture for people by using your words, by using descriptions, by showing them what you were going through. And, you know, chances are they've been through something similar.
I remember when we broke up the first time.
There are so many situations that I've been in where a song wouldn't have been written had this situation not happened exactly in that way. We were in the studio and this guy walked in and he was, you know, a friend of one of my exes, and I'd never met him before, but I'd heard about him, and he came in and he introduced himself and started talking all about my ex-boyfriend and kind of made a comment about how he heard we were going to get back together. And as soon as he left, I went on this rant, and I was just like, the thing is, we are never, ever, ever getting back together. Ever. Like, ever.
With her singles spending weeks at #1 and her album Red already at platinum status, Taylor continues to relate to a huge audience, ultimately by never being anything but who she is.
I didn't need to be 25 when I was 16. I just wanted to be 16 when I was 16. When I was 18, I just kind of wanted to be 18. I think a lot about life. I think a lot about future regrets and trying to avoid them. And I think that when you talk to people who are in their 70s and 80s and they you know, talk about regrets they've had in their life, it was not living in the moment, trying to grow up too fast, missing out on things because they didn't look around and feel things, and not spending enough time with their friends and family. And I think those are things that I always try to really focus on, you know, trying to be a good human being. I've kind of realized in the last couple of years you're living a life, and it's going to be in photo albums on your coffee table. And you know, in a way, that's almost more important than the fact that this is, you know, a career or a brand or whatever. You're living a life.